Flosstube and Happy New Year. My name is Stephanie and I am the New England Stitcher, and today is December 30th. I'm a day late, but it is my anniversary. I've been doing Flosstube for 1 year, and on this channel I like to talk about cross stitch. I like to talk about quilting and a lot of other projects that I do. So today I am bringing to you a WIP parade, and my entire kitchen is filled with my WIPs. My husband was, I don't think he not that he's judging me, but he was judging me. He was surprised that I have this many WIPs, and he thought it was a little out of control. So he's off to work. My other daughter is at track. The other one is sleeping, and I am here to share with you all of my WIPs. And then I will, in my next video, I will do my 1 year anniversary party, because I already think that this is going to be a very, very long video with the number of WIPs. And I'm going to include a WIP counter just for some of you that might be interested in seeing how many I have. Not that we judge, right? We listen and we don't judge. But anyway, so let's get started. So I have them all piled on chairs, and then I have them on the table. So if I keep turning to the side, that's why. But anyway, so let's get started. This project is holding Hello There by Hands On Design. Here are all of the months, and I've actually completed January through August. So I only actually have 4 more to do, and they don't take too long. I worked on it once or twice. No, I think it was only once, because I was able to finish one and then complete an entire one on a Sunday. So this is something I'm going to get back to. So I will be starting, I don't want to show you that, but I will be starting September right here. So there's September. Let me get out of it so it'll focus. And then what I'm going to do, I don't have this this finishing board, but I do have another type of finishing board that I'm going to, I believe that's how I'm going to finish them. We will see. If not, there'll be pillows that'll go on the dough ball. But they are all being stitched on 32 count white linen. I think there was one that I used that was like a splash. So I have not started, but I am counting it as a WIP because I've already done all of the other months, and I did not count those as separates. I was counting it as just one whole. So that is my very first WIP. And I do have all the buttons, and I'm using all the called for flosses, and I purchased the buttons. I got it all through the Fat Quarter Shop. When Kimberly showed it, I was completely enabled. That was back in 2023. Oh, I should probably mention that I am showing you all of my WIPs in the order of oldest to newest. And this month of December, there was a lot of new starts. So my next, okay, things are already falling. I'm so bad. My next one is the Love Sampler by Artful Offerings, and I am stitching this on the called for. I'm stitching it on the called for fabric. I am not using the called for floss. I'm actually switching between 2 shades of they're in here. 2 shades of a what are these called? Orifloss. Sorry, because I use Orifil in my sewing machine. These are 2 shades of Oriflosses. They're not very far apart, and I'm wishing I had just chosen one variegated red. And I probably say this every time I show it, but I am wishing I had done that, because I think it would make my life a whole lot easier. Because I forget, because they're so close, it's really difficult to actually see the color changes. They're so close that It's actually really hard to see the two shades. Like in this red heart, I don't think you can see that there are two different colors. So I don't know. I may take this with me to Pam shop at some point and see if I can just find a variegated floss that kind of looks like this and then just use that one. Or just stick with, or pick one of these and just use one. I don't know. One's more tomatoey red, one's not, but they're really on this fabric. You can't really see the difference. So anyway, I love this. I was making this for my husband, and it's a lot larger than I originally anticipated. And I love the sentiment. It says, love, we love because he first loved us. And I just think it's a beautiful sentiment. So I may, because this is so long, so huge, I may end up just doing, excluding the alphabet, but we will see. I'm not sure. This is going on my, I don't do WIP Go. I do Boss Me, which is just like WIP Go, but with friends from Boston and Maine, the Boss Stitchers and Two Needles Pulling Thread, Missy and Kathy. So I have this on my board, and the board has 25 spots, and I will show it at the end. It's still not full. I haven't actually, it's all ready. I just have to write them down, but I didn't know I did not know all of my WIPs until this morning, and I have them all typed in the computer. So all I have to do then is just put them into my calendar, and I think I'm just gonna not even pay attention and just put them in there. And I'm going to be doing something called this or that, or maybe both, who knows. But when a number is called during the month, I may not want to stitch that. So in each spot, I can put 2 WIPs and then I can pick which one. My next WIP is by Lori Holt. It's called Autumn Love. This seems to be a stitch that I do in the car when I'm taking my daughter to college, or when we're going to visit her in college, or pick her up, or when I'm not driving. And this is how far I've gotten. Oops, a clip fell out. So I made some progress, not as much as I would like, but it's nice car stitching because it's 25 count Lugana, and it is 2 threads over 2, and I can see it and I can do it while we're driving, and it's not a lot that has to be like really counted or need my magnification for. So that's a nice stitch. Okay, I'm back. The pattern is Hallowing This Way by the Primitive Hare, and I have been working on this for over 2 years. This was my original plan, was to use this as fill-in for Zoom calls and stitchy retreats, and then I just got sucked into starting and participating in a lot of sales at retreats. So I don't tend to stitch on this anymore, but I do Zoom with friends. So I think this might just have to be my Zoom stitch, because really all I have to do is fill in all this, and you can easily do that on the while you're, you know, talking with your friends, and you don't have to pay attention to counting. So that is good. If I can get these 3 filled in, that would make me really happy. This is being stitched on the fabric that's called for by the Primitive Hare. It's a 30 count linen, and I am using called for colors with this stitch. So there they are. All right. And if you want to see it, I should mention, if you want to see it progressed even farther, I believe Chris from the Boss Stitchers, happy anniversary, girls, by the way. I am so sorry. They just celebrated a huge anniversary, and I believe it was 100 episodes. So congratulations, ladies. Jane from the Boss Stitchers, she has hers almost done, if not already done, and it looks amazing. So if you're looking for somebody that has it completed, you should definitely check her out. My next one is Salem Sisters 3 by Plum Street, and I apologize for the glare. I will read it to you. It says, "Sisters of mine, a tree be our shrine, though these
treacheries we've not committed. Our brethren leave, judged us there, mercies begrudged us, but God holds our souls as acquitted. Gallows Hill, Salem Village. And here's where I've got not very far. And it's sad because it's really a cool pattern. I only have the top started. The letters will go quickly once I get there, but here's where I'm at. More than last year. So I did stitch on this, I think only for a day, but it's definitely more than what it was last year. So that's a good thing, right? Moving forward, one step forward is always good. So next WIP I have, I actually stitched this in Mrs. Jones from Holly from Mrs. Jones. She held last year, she did a swap, a Blackbird swap, and I participated in that. And I actually stitched this into a drum for somebody, and I loved it so much I wanted to do it for me as well. So I restarted it, did not get very far on it, but this is being stitched on 32 count embellished by Atomic Ranch, and it is called Autumn Sound, and it is in the Winds of Autumn book. I do have the Winds of Autumn book. It's because I'm doing the Mighty Oak, so when I get that one, when we find it, I will show it to you so you can see. But it's a bird on a branch, and I did that as the top of the drum. And if you look back, it's probably on Instagram, and if not, it's definitely in one of my videos. But I loved it. It was a great one. I'm doing all the called for colors. I had originally swapped out for the lady that I had made it for because she really liked like a minty green. So I chose Cadet and Dove for her, but I'm using Deep Sea and Dolphin for me, for the bird. So the bird will be blue rather than like a tealy color. So, and that's just being kept in this with a keeper. And I apologize for not showing. I should. So I wish you were here with me right now. You could yell at me, show your keeper or show your bag, because I do love when people show it too. So I'm sorry. But this is a long one, guys. Okay, very small start because it's a restart. I actually started this last February. It got called in my WIP Go. And it's a honey of a tiny town. And I was actually using the Victoria Clayton silks that she had done for Hive Rules. And a lot of those colors the same, except there wasn't like this dark blue, which I think is 930, or what is it? No, it's not. It's Deep Sea. Deep Sea and Blue Jeans are the colors that are for the houses here that I really liked. And here, let me do that. So what I ended up doing is I had actually only stitched this portion right here, the white house with the 3 sunflowers. So that's done. And I just stopped what I was stitching it on, and I'm keeping it as like a little small. I can turn it into a pillow. It's not a big deal. So I have a restart. It's not very, you guys can't even see it in this video. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look at where my finger is. Can you see it? It's right here. It's so, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's barely existent. That is my start. I am doing a center start this time rather than starting left or right. So I will get it done. It'll go with my honey themed. I have spring in a whole, you know, all the primroses and things like that in the spring with my honey bees. So that'll be on display at some point. I originally had talked to you guys because I am turning 50. I talked about possibly doing the Blackbird designs. Oh my gosh. The mystery tour with all of the Beatles patterns. There's 6 of them. And I was thinking I could do like, you know, 1 every 2 months. I already have Strawberry Fields started. It's not a big start, but I do. But then I was talking with friends, and because when you see the number of WIPs that I have, I think I should probably focus on these rather than let them get out of control even more. But I am going to start a couple other things, but we'll get there. Okay, so I am stitching Bluebirds of Happiness by JBW Designs. This was popular a few years ago. I finally jumped on the bandwagon last year. I had it all kitted. I'm using the Victoria Clayton silks. She did a conversion, but I started stitching it, and I was doing it with Jamie from the Pink Stitchers until I got to this part right here. So there's this bird right here, and it doesn't look like a bird because the variegated floss that you're supposed to use in Vicky's conversion doesn't show, or it doesn't make it look like a bird because of how the variegation is. So I got a NPI that I'm going to do it in to replace that. So I put it in a timeout, and it's been in a timeout for a while. So what I really need to do is I need to rip out that bird, restitch it, and then it'll get back to it. It's kind of hard to see. I'm using the Atomic Ranch Freeze because that was the called for fabric. I am wishing that these letters were just a little bit darker because, you know, you put a lot of time in it. You kind of want it to be seen. You can see it up close, but I guess it being so light makes it feel a little bit more vintagey. I don't know. And here's one of my early versions of keepers that I started to create. So that is on my plans for it. The next one got a little bit of love in July and this winter, or I should say this Christmas season. It's called Christmas Means More by Heart and Hand. And it is a quote from The Grinch. Christmas doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And I am stitching it on 32 count Sand Dollar by Tropical Stitches. It's being kept in this Christmas bag that I made when I was making bags early on and trying to figure out which ones I like the best. So here's what I've got. So if we look at this and we look at the pattern here, I made some progress, not too much more. Got some letters and the little doodads that have to go around it, but those will go pretty quickly. 32 count is nice. It's 2 threads over 2. So, and I'm using all the called for colors on that. All right, the next one I have, this is my leap year start, and it's called A Symphony of Friendship sampler that none of my friends wanted to stitch with me. I mean, look at these birds. Hopefully you can see with the glare, I'm sorry. These birds are the cutest things ever. The tree is a bit of a beast, but I figure that'll be the reward for getting to stitch birds, right? So I started with this little, I think it's a titmouse if I'm not mistaken, or a chickadee. And that's how far I've gotten. It's on 20 count mellow stone, and that's what I'm using. And this is in one of my favorite fabrics. This is the keeper that I made for it. So that is my leap year start. So I have 4 years to finish it, which kind of like relieves a little bit of the pressure of, you know, you got to get this done, I think I've decided that I'm not going to take on any more homework projects, right? I have enough of them, so I'm gonna try really hard not to join any more sales, but don't tempt me because you know I will. So that's one of the things I'm gonna try really hard not to do, and I'm gonna try really hard to just say no. Saying no to people is one of the hardest things for me, but I have very good friends that say I do too much and I need to start to say no. So that's going to be my word of the year. It's going to be a no thank you. That's going to be my word of the year, so that I can focus and take care of me a little bit more. I know that seems a little bit selfish, but I think that my migraines and things like that is because I do a lot and I don't put myself first. So I think that's going to be my word of the year is no thank you. But don't tempt me, because you know I'm weak and I probably will say yes. Okay, so where are we at? I don't even know, but you know, because there's going to be a counter. We are on the Pride and Prejudice sampler. If you've been here for a while, you know that Pride and Prejudice is my go-to jam. This is by Twin Peak Primitives, and at the very bottom it says, Pride and Prejudice, you must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. Because that is what Mr. Darcy says to Lizzie at the end when he's confessing his love for her. Oh, heart flutters, right? My daughter is probably going, ew, Mom, if she could hear me. I am using 20 count Mellow Stone, and I'm using all the called for DMC flosses, and I started in the middle, and that is as far as I've gotten. So we've got the E for Elizabeth and the F for Fitzwilliam, and it is in this little Pride and Prejudice keeper that I made. I think I need to make a bigger keeper for it, because it is the amount of flosses that are in here, and the pattern doesn't fit because it's a small one. So I might have to make a bigger one. Okay, my next one is The Beach is Calling by Erica Michaels. I started this April 11th in 2024. All the called for colors. Here's what it looks like. I do love a good crossword puzzle. I did stitch the 4th of July one that she had done. I love them. She does include also drums and the biscornu. Not a biscornu, I'm sorry, a strawberry. I've never stitched a strawberry, so maybe I will stitch this one someday. Oh, and the fabric that I'm using is 36 count. It's Sand Dollar from Tropical Stitchers. And then this is how far I've gotten. I think I mentioned this back originally when I had started it. On the trolley, it says Cape May. Excuse me. I'm actually going to put Hampton on there instead of Cape May, because Hampton Beach is where I spent every summer of my life growing up. So that will go on there. All right, this was an April start at the Library Stitchers retreat. I did finish one of them, but we had 2 starts during that retreat. I finished one. I haven't finished this one yet. This one is Violet's Blue by Blackbird Design. And it's actually it's not a very large pattern. I'm stitching it on 20 count, so that probably helps too. But here is where I've got. So I have some more progress to make. But once you get into it, it just goes pretty quickly. I do love it a lot. I think that Nise actually finished hers. And Brandi's, I think she's further ahead on hers than I am, but that's okay. It'll get done. My goal is to have this one done by April, so that when I go to Library Stitchers, it'll be done. That's always my goal, right? So I really do try to keep it a WIP under a year, but there's a few that you've already seen that are older than that. But I'm using the Call for Colors, and this is Pompous Reed 20 count by Atomic Ranch. This was a impulsive start. This is Flipflop Days by Just Another Button Company. I saw it and I fell in love with it because of a very dear friend. I thought she would really like it. She wears flip-flops almost every day if she can. But here's where I've got, and this is a very bright color. But if you know her, she is bright and fun, and I think she'll love it. It's a 30 count linen, that's what's called for. And I ordered that to go with it with the buttons. So yeah, I mean, it's not very much. I mean, I think the hardest thing right now is the flowers, because it's once you get those letters done, you're done, because you just sew those buttons on, and it's so. I would like to get that done for her. Her birthday, I believe, is in May, so if I can get that done for her in May, that would be great. Okay, here's another project. Plum Street, surprise. Plum Street Samplers Live on Little. Let me do it this way so you can all see this pattern, which I know you all know, because so many people have stitched it, and I was late to the party, but I really just love it. And I love the sentiment, how great the blessing invests the art to live on little with a thankful heart. And here's where I've gotten. So this is on 36 count. It is being stitched with all of the called for colors. I am not, excuse me, I'm itching my nose. I am not going to, let me do this right here. I am not going to stitch all of the under the ocean parts. I'm just going to have the waves be the border at the bottom. I probably will go like, you know, maybe 2 rows or 3 rows underneath that wave, but that's how far I've got. So it's going to be a pretty big piece, but I know I'm going to love it when it's all done. So I can't wait to get to the house. I think the house is going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to the ocean. The ocean's going to be a big one, but it's okay. All right. Oh, this one is all, this is because of Emma. and I'm going to blame Carolyn Manning too, because she kept putting her patterns. They were so inexpensive online. And it was May of last year. And the girlies, Megan, Seattle Stitcher, and Cam, and the rest of them, they all were doing some Carolyn Mannings, and Emma got into it, and then she got the rest of us into it. So we all purchased several patterns, and I had to stitch it right away. I love these blues and peachy colors. I think it's just really pretty. And I love it so much that I only got this far, which is really, it's sad. It's so sad because it deserves more. I think Nise, I think she finished this one too. Emma has hers. I don't think Emma finished this. I think she's more than halfway done though. But Nise, I believe she finished it. And it's just a nice mindless stitch. Once you get into it. I was trying to do like a big block and just do one color and then do the other color, but we all know how I count, and counting is hard, and sometimes you need to have other things to go off of, right? So there's that one. Okay, the next one is a Winterly Twosome Triangle Ornaments by Robin Pickens. And I adore her. I just love these ornaments. It matches the fabric line so well. These are actually motifs from her fabric collection. And here is what I've got, because why stitch one when you can have 3? So every one of them that I started, there's a mistake somewhere in it. This bird, it's not supposed to have its feathers outside of the triangle. So, you know, I'm just going to live with it. I actually did complete one of these that was this pattern, but correctly. And I gifted it to Emma at her shower for her tree, for her ornament. So Emma has the good one that's done, and I will continue working on these that are the naughty ones and get them done for hopefully next year, so that they can be on my tree. So those are my 3 Robin Pickens whips. And they do stitch very fast. They're stitched on perforated paper. Okay, my next stitch, I jumped in on a sal that SarahW was doing because I thought it was just such a cool idea, and I loved this pattern. This pattern is by Petal Pushers. I thought I had pulled it out, but I guess I didn't. It is called Botanical Study number 1. And I am stitching it with all the called for. which I believe I am doing 32 count. 32 count shadow. And here's where I'm at. So here's what it looks like. And there's where I'm at. All the called for colors. I think that'll be really pretty when it's done. Okay, next. This was a market release that I held off on until my friend Sarah got it, and then she started, and then I was like, oh, I have to do it with her. It's called the 12 Days of Christmas Stockings by Beez. So good. I have 1, 2, 3 done, and here's where I got for number 4. They're all 1, 2, and 3 are finished, but not, sorry, 1, 2, and 3 are finished, but not fully finished. I am stitching it with all the called for colors, and I will finish them into stockings once I get done. And I'm stitching it, I should say, I am stitching it on the 14 count. I'm doing Blackboard. 14 count Blackboard, not Blackbird. Maybe I'll get those done for next year. They do stitch up really quickly, right? But I guess it's all comes down to time. Oh, okay, so we are on the Winds of Autumn book that I had mentioned before. I'm stitching Autumn Sound. I can show you that. Here's what that looks like. That was a while ago. That's the one that I had actually made for someone, and then I'm now making it for myself. I don't tend to like to stitch the same thing twice. I don't know how Chris has done so many of the Prairie Schooler Santas, the same ones over and over again, and not get bored, but she's able to do that, and she does it so well. They're adorable. If you've never seen hers, you should check her out. But I am stitching the Mighty Oak, which is just such a nice, oh, it's just such a nice pattern, and I love all of the colors and everything. This was Brandi's birthday sal last year, and this is as far as I've gotten. Oh, I should say what I'm stitching it with. I apologize. It is Fox and Rabbit Dirt Track 36 count, and here's where, oh, sorry, let me take that out of the way. That's where I've gotten. So I didn't stitch it very much in May because there was Nise's birthday sal, there was Brandi's birthday sal, and then there was all the other things that I was stitching, which was a lot. I know it seems like I have a lot of WIPs, and you will see by the number that I really do. But I did accomplish a lot of things. This year I finished 40 cross stitches and 10 quilts. Almost 41 cross stitches. I'm not quite. Maybe I'll be able to get it done in the next 2 days before the year's out. But right now the total is at 40, which I think is not too shabby, right? It's not bad. Doing pretty good. This next WIP is called Bluebirds of Hope. This is an exclusive pattern from Claire's Stitching Post, and you just have to email her or call the shop, and you can order it and she'll ship it out to you. I am stitching it on 20 count, and if I unfortunately cannot tell you what the fabric is, but it's a 20 count from Atomic Wrench. That's all I know. I'm sorry, I don't know what the color is, but that's what I've got complete. I had hoped that this would be a gift for a friend for Christmas, but it didn't turn out that way because it turned out to be a lot bigger than what I thought, and also more than I thought I would be able to get completed. So I stitched something else. Okay, so now we are at Nise's birthday, her birthday sal, and this is called When Cardinals Appear by JBW's Designs. It's being stitched. My stitching is going to be on 36 count Winter Moon. And here's what I've got completed for Nise's birthday, which is really pretty. I would like to get back to this. Oh, I should have said some. It says, when cardinals appear loved ones are near. And we all have family that are no longer with us, and so when we see a cardinal, we think of them. So, and again, like I said, I'm just using the colorful colors for that. Okay, my next WIP also was going to be a gift. This was going to be a gift for my sister-in-law, and it may still be a gift for my sister-in-law if I ever get it done, but we will see. So my sister-in-law loves peacocks, and this is Manor at Peacock Hill by Brenda Gervais. I am stitching this on 36 count winter moon linen. Guess I like winter moon linen, huh? And it's being held in a peacock whippet keeper. And here is, I definitely need to trim this fabric because there's a lot of this fabric. And this is not a very large stitch. So I got the start of the peacock's head. Here's the start. So it started. And it's got some really pretty blues. So hopefully we'll get back to that. That was started in June, a month before her birthday. So I was being proactive. Her birthday's in July, but definitely took longer than I was expecting, like everything else in my life. So the next thing is Love and Learning by Emily Call. And here's what it looks like. I started this on the last day of school this year. And so it is 20, it's being stitched, stitching it on 20 count Golden Harvest by Atomic Ranch. And that's the pattern. I think I am going to change out the red schoolhouse. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But here's where I've got. The Y is very difficult to see. It's very ghosting on this fabric, but it shows up a little bit better in person than it does on the camera. But I am loving the colors. I did change, nope, I guess I didn't. Okay, so all of these are the colorful colors. I purchased this at Stitch, the library stitchers, and we went to the Hoblob, and I actually bought all of the floss for it that night, and I was like, yes, I have to start it. You have to start it now. Okay. So this next start happened at the Jingle Ball. I started it on August 1st, and it's called A Little Bit of Spring by Blackbird Designs. Kim, the Contented Needleworker, she and I were in a chat room, and Abby Topknot Stitcher was, and Kim was talking about how she was starting a Sal, and it was a Blackbird, and I love Blackbird. I was like, oh, I don't know that pattern. And then Abby's like, ooh, we have it in stock. And so I went and purchased it, and you know, that's how I get to be part of Sal's because I love a pattern so much, and I want to do it with everybody. So here's where I've got. I am stitching it on 36 Creme Brulee by R&R. And here it is. Oops. I lost a clip. Sorry about that. The alphabet is really nice to stitch. I know some people have like brightened up the colors. I do like it more primitive. So I'm really happy with it. That's it better. Right there. So I will get to it like everything else. Oh, look, another Sal, guys. I have no idea what number this is in the pile, but it is Loose Feathers. And in this folder, I have summer, winter, and fall. And I started summer, and this is the 3 is Better Than 1 BBD Sal 24. And this was started by Callie and Christy of the Floss, Bossin Cousins. And here's that Blackbird. So this is what I started. I still have not started the other two because I'm going to to stitch them all together as one piece. Okay, that's where I'm at. And I'm using all the called for colors. Yeah, I really like this. I really want to get back to it. I think that once, I know I'm a seasonal stitcher, and this is very spring. So once or I should say summer, but the strawberries I always think spring. But once the weather warms up, I'll definitely want to get back to it. So there is that one. I think both Callie and Christy have completed theirs, which is remarkable to me. And they look great all together as one big piece. I think Callie actually stitched it twice because she gave one away, like her start. She gave it away on her channel. All right, my next stitch. This one should be done. Oh my gosh, this is not a hard stitch. Why does it take me so long? This is the Canadian flag by Erin Elizabeth. I started this on July 1st as well because that is Canada Day and my husband is Canadian, and yeah, I want to commemorate and have some things for my husband because I have a lot of Patriotic for the 4th of July, but for him and my daughters, you know, don't look too hard. We know there's mistakes in this because, you know me and a Quaker, I can't stitch one to save my life without making mistakes, but that means I'm not perfect. And I definitely am not perfect. I am stitching this on 20 count buttermilk by Color and Cotton, if you are interested in what I'm stitching that on. And the floss is, I believe, yep, Ribbon Red is what I'm using for that floss. Okay. My next WIP is Summer Quaker, and this is in honor of my friend Chris, the camping stitcher. Her birthday is also in July, and she was doing, I want to say she started the Summer Quaker for her birthday. I love her, but that was just way too big for me. Or it was the Hallowing Quaker. She was just doing a big one. And you all see my projects. There's so many of them. I knew that that was not a realistic start-finish type situation. So I had this and I really wanted to stitch it. So I started the Summer Quaker in honor of my friend Chris for her birthday. I'm using the color Butter Crunch for it. I am stitching this on 36 count linen. It looks like it's a piece of probably Winter Moon because it's a part of it's been hacked off. And here's where I've got. So I love the variegation in that. I think it pops really well in this color. So that's where I'm at. My Summer Quaker. And this can be done. This could get done fast, guys. Just need to do it. You're like, that's what she always says. But I do finish things. Okay, my next WIP. Okay. My next WIP is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. And this is part of that mystery tour, the Magic Mystery Tour of the Beatles that I had mentioned a few minutes ago, that I really do want to stitch all of them. So what I probably will do is once I stitch this, then I can just start the others because I now have them all. So, but I do love them very much. Okay, this is being stitched on 36 Overcast by Cedar River Linens. Oh, I love these linens. So gorgeous. And this is also a Sal with Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher, my friend Deborah, and a bunch of other ladies in the Jingle Ball. And yes, I have a problem. I love Sals. I love doing things with people. So it will get done. Just don't know when, but it will get done. I know I'm behind. I'm very behind on that project. But that's okay. Here is Falling Snow by Shannon Christine. I just love every single thing about this. Yes, I know it's ginormous, but I don't care. It's 210 by 245. I've chosen to not use the B5200 as my color. I am using the other call for colors, but I'm not going to use the B5200. Instead, I am using a sulky. I am stitching this on 32 count Lugana Atlantic. And the white is just popping off this fabric, and it looks so good. And I love that the modeling, it makes it look like the sky is just, you know, doing all sorts of fantastic things with it. So this was only one day of stitching, or one sitting, I should say. It's so fast. 32 count, fly right through it, which is nice. And I like how my stitches are laying with this silky, because I only have to use one thread, and it looks good. So I'm very happy about that. That was last year, was supposed to be my snow day sale, or I should say, yeah, my snow start. But I didn't have all the right stuff, so now I do. And I bought that when I went to the Crafty Grimalkin, and I got all the stuff for it last January, but I didn't start it until September because I was torn about the white. The white wasn't really showing up the way I wanted it to. But now it all works, and it was thanks to you guys, because somebody suggested that I use sulky, and I love it. So thank you. Okay, my friends, the pile has shrunk considerably. Now these two chairs are gonna fall over probably. All right, we're closer to done than not done, so that's a good thing. My next WIP is called The Dance, and this is by Annie the Proper Stitcher. And as soon as I saw that tree, I was like, yes, yes, please. I am stitching this as my anniversary stitch. So I started it on my anniversary with my husband, which is August 17th. I am stitching it on 36 count Spindrift by Cedar River Linens. And here is what I've got. I started the tree. I really can't wait to go over and have all that greenery, just like fall, because that willow. So my husband used to have a willow tree in his backyard in the house that he grew up in, and they lost it a while ago, probably 15 years ago, in an ice storm up there. And it was a sad day when they lost that tree, but it was one of my favorites. So I saw that pattern and I immediately was like, that's my husband. I need this one. On the bottom of the pattern, it says, a forest full of stars that hang upon the limbs of magic flowing willows dancing in the wind. And I think that Annie said her husband came up with that quote, but could be wrong. Anyway, she did such a beautiful job designing it, and I love it. Love it so much. This this one is another Sal. This is for Brandi's daughter, Brenna. She saw this pattern by Liz Matthews at the Library Stitchers Retreat, and she's like, I want you guys to stitch this for me. So there's 3 of us that are doing it. It is Gifts from My Garden by Liz Matthews. I am stitching mine on 20 count Dirty Teacup, and I started it on Brenna's birthday. And here's where I've gotten. So not too far. Brandi's a lot further. She's actually almost done. So there's that. Okay. This is another Sal. That was actually 2 Sals. One, I was supposed to start it and I didn't start it. I started something else, and then Emma said she was going to do this for her wedding, or for her birthday. we did part of it for her wedding. We did the, there was a small that we did, and then Emma's like, no, this is the one we did for when Emma's bridal shower or get to girls weekend. And I stitched that for my husband and I fully finished it. But I love, where is that whole pattern? I want to show you if you've never seen it. Okay, so Let Love Rain is a ginormous pattern and I love it, but I don't want to stitch the whole thing. I actually only want to stitch this flower section. So I have a very, very small start. I was supposed to be doing this with, is it 2 Bay Stitchers? They're from Canada. And I didn't get it started because I was doing the other one with the girls. And then Emma said she was going to do this for her birthday, Sal. And I was like, sure, I can do this. So I started the butterfly. I did not get very far on it, but it does have a little start. And I will get back to it. But at least it's a WIP and it's going to go on my board so that it can get love. And when I put it on my board and the number is called, what I'll do is I'll stitch on it for 5 days. So it'll have 5 days of progress. The month is long, so I have 2 projects that get called, so it's only 10 days. So if I want to stitch more on it, I can. If I want to stitch something else, I can, because like I said, I'm putting 2 items in each spot. So I feel like that gives me some flexibility. And 5 days is nice, actually. Alice Young, sampler, 1647. This was dedicated to the first woman that was hanged as a witch. She's from Connecticut. And it is 1 for sorrow, 2 for mirth. And her name is Alice Young. And this, I mean, if you look back to the pattern, there's only a few colors and it will not, I mean, there's not much left that I have to do. I mean, yes, I have to fill in that house. That's probably gonna take the most time, but it went so quick, this part. And I just like, yes, there's a little bit of back stitching on this border, but it just looks so nice. So this is stitched on 36 count Dove by Coloring Cotton, in case you are wondering what it's stitched on. This pattern I was obsessed with. Liz Matthews, hello from Liz Matthews. She put this out and it was part of her Patreon. And I did not belong to her Patreon. And I wanted this, but I had to wait then for it to be released. So it is called Boost Boot Hunt. And she showed it in 2 colorways. This is the white one. But when she first talked about it on her channel, she also showed it in a dark colorway. So I'm doing it in the dark colorway. And this fabric is Gunmetal by Weeks Dye Work. And it's a 36 count. And I'm using all the called for colors. This was a Stitch New England start. So at the retreat, we all started this. There's a group of us, so it's a sell. Are you surprised? It's being stitched on 36 count, fiber on a whim. It's Moonstone. And it's Autumn is as Joyful. And here's where I've got. And this is all I did at the retreat on that one day, because I had 3 starts. And this was 1 day's worth. And you all, if you've ever been to a retreat, you know how it is. You get talking with your friends, you get talking with other people, and then you just get sidetracked and you don't get as much stitching as you want done, but that's okay. It'll happen. I'll get it done. This is the other Sal that I started at the retreat. This was with my friend Sarah. This is the Fabulous House series. This is the lighthouse. And as soon as I saw that lighthouse, I was like, sold. Yes, please. Love it so much. So it's funny, Sarah started at the bottom with the whale, and I started in the upper right corner. And there's where I'm at. And I can tell you in just a second. I actually had switched I switched the fabric that I was using. Originally I was doing 32 count Dust Bunny, and I switched it to 36 count Storm, and I believe it is Atomic Ranch. I have to find the tag. It's not on the fabric, but it has a lot of modeling in it, but if I hold it back there you can't see the stitching. The yellow is much better closer than further away. So there's that. Gosh, I didn't give myself very much room. I think I only gave myself an inch. I think it'll be okay though. All right, so that is my my second start from Stitch New England. The third thing I started, I gave as a gift to Brandi. She was my person we did a smalls exchange with a group of us, and I started hers then, but she didn't know that it was for her. And it was the Squirrels by Heart and Hand that I did as a biscorno. Okay, so my next WIP is called Cozy Autumn Medley by Emily Call. And if you recall, Emily was so very generous, and she gave me 2 to give away on my channel. So thank you so much for that, Emily. Here, I'm stitching it with the Called for Colors, although I did change out the ribbon around the crow's neck. Changed it to a blue. Other than that, all the colors. I had stitched it prior, and then I switched. I wasn't loving the fabric that I was stitching it on, so I changed my mind. And I like this a lot more. So I'm much happier with this. And if you don't like something, you're not going to stitch it. So it's better to change it and be happy than not, right? So that'll get done. This is my next WIP. This is Chubby Bunny by Jeanette Douglas. This got started because my husband was downstairs watching, I think he was watching like the zombies, Walking Dead, and I don't like zombies. So I went upstairs, and this was the project that was next to my bed, so this is what I started. Here it is, Chubby Bunny by Jeanette Douglas, and this bunny is going to be friends with Erin Elizabeth's bunny that I stitched last year, and it's almost done. It's so fast, guys. This is a small little bunny. It's stitched on 20 count brown sugar fabric, and I am using all the called for colors. This one is a sale, but it was not Brandi, it was not me, it was not Nise, it was Emma. Emma, this one's yours. She was like, yes, we're doing it. And if you know Emma's not a Plum Street girl, but this one caught her attention, and well, it's a Jane Austen quote, so I was like, yes, please, and thank you. So this is Real Comfort by Plum Street, and I am stitching mine on 36 count Maple Bar by Cedar River Linens. And here is my progress. Not much. But like I said, I will get it done when I get it done. There's no rush on it, and I'm just going to enjoy that stitch. Some I want to get done, and I just kind of just want to get them done. And then others, I'm just like, no, I really enjoy this. I want to take my time and be a process stitcher, not a piece of floss. Where did it come from? Which bag? I think it was that one. Okay. So at Christmas time, I think I mentioned I was stitching my sister-in-law's Christmas present, but I was kind of bored with stitching the same things. I had been stitching on it for such a long time. And I really wanted to stitch this one. And I had plans with one of my viewers, Paula. We had talked about doing this as a start this December, which I did. It's by Heartstring Samplery, and it's called the Christmas Bell Sampler. And then it became a bigger sale at the Jingle Ball because we were talking to Missy, and she showed her finish, and everybody was just amazed at her finish. I had seen her stitch this at the Stitch New England, my very first retreat, and I fell in love with it back then. So I am stitching mine on 36 Lakeside Linen Navy Bean. And here it is. This is as far as I've gotten, guys, but I'm really happy with, I know you really can't see the sparkle in the étoile, but those bells are sparkly in person. It's hard to see on the camera, but I am using the Stargazing, that blue, and I just love it so much. I worked on this on Christmas Day. I had already started stitching the bells, and I had to pull them out and change them to a darker silver, and then I stitched the bells. But yeah, this is just a good one. This is a really good one. It's a nice stitch. Once you get into the rhythm, it's nice. And I hope all the other friends that are doing it, they're smoking me away probably, but I hope they're enjoying it. Another sell that I started at the Jingle Ball is Believe by Erin Elizabeth. And I am not very far. So many people are like, Emma, she just finished this the other night and it looks so good. She did hers on red and it's just gorgeous. Here's mine on a midnight twilight. Is it twilight? No, it's Midnight Christmas, Twilight Christmas by Atomic Ranch. It's a really beautiful blue. It does have some modeling, but I don't think you can really see it very well. Sorry for the kitties crying. He's mad because I'm not giving him attention. And I have blocked him like with a bunch of chairs so he can't get to me. I'm stitching this in a silk. And it's just really nice to stitch with. So there's that. Then next, now we're in December. In December, I have a lot of starts. So I started this because this was our Advent box that we had done for each other. This is Stitching Sisters by Chessie and me. I'm stitching mine on 36 count. Golden Sundance by Count on Linens. And I started this on the 8th of December. And here's how far I've gotten. And this was part of Nise. This was the pattern that Nise picked for us to start. And I worked on it that week. Also along with all the other presents and stuff that I was trying to get done. The following week was Emma's turn. And this was Emma's There Is Room. And this is by Annie the Proper Stitcher. And there is room for everyone. Let me see if I can, yeah. There is room for everyone at the table. Oh, sorry, there is room at the table for everyone. Sorry, I said it backwards. So what Emma had done is she gifted us each a Gloriana silk in the color that she thought we would like. And the silk that she chose for me is Vintage Teal. And here's that Vintage Teal again. It's just, I had never stitched with a Gloriana before, and it is so nice. So that's where I've gotten, and I love that variegation. It's really pretty. The following week was Brandi's, and Brandi, she picked for her stitch Kringle and Woolard. Okay, and there he is. And I've made a few changes. So Brandi gifted us all the DMC, and then we got to talking, and I hadn't started it yet. And Emma was talking about how she was changing Santa's coat so that his coat would be more variegated, and changing the trees so that they would be more variegated rather than just be stitched in the DMC. So I am stitching mine, I should say that first, on 36 count Milk Chocolates by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I changed it to this. So if we look at the pattern, the shape is black. And I stitched it to a white sheep so that you could see all of that beautiful little quilt blocks in him.
So that's where I've gotten. And I also changed his eyes. Instead of making them super oval, I just made them little beady eyes. I do have to pick a color for it. I haven't decided what color I want to do for the eyes, but I have to do that. Look at this. All right, just in case you guys are thinking about stitching it, there is the mitten. That mitten, holy moly, that mitten is 1/1 on 36 count. That was no joke. And I did that definitely with my magnifier, but I'm so happy the way it turned out. Brandi had come up with a different solution, and I thought about doing it while it was in the middle of what I was doing, and I was like, well, I'm already here, so let me just continue on. So there's that one. I do have a friend that is retiring, and all right, so the next few things you're gonna see, I had already had all kitted, and they were just in my pile. So in order for them to go on my WIP board or my Boss Me board, I needed to have them started. So I did a lot of starts. They're not very big, but I did them on purpose because I want to stitch them. And the only way they're gonna get stitched is if I start them, right? So here is You Teach. This is for my friend who is going to be retiring this year. And it is on the called for 30 count linen. It's 2 strands over 2, and it's just with the called for colors. And that is what I got started so that I can put it on my board and I can have it started for her and hopefully done, because it's not very big at all. The next one, can you believe it? It's another restitch. So I stitched this 2-3 years ago for my sister-in-law for Christmas, and I had it framed professionally. I kept it in the French language because they all speak French, and I did it in the Belsoise. Well, then I was on Vicki Clayton's site, and she was, you know, Vicki had a conversion, so I decided to start it again, and there's my little minuscule start. And I am doing this on 32 count Platina by Tropical Stitches. So that's a 32 count, and I think it's going to be really pretty with the 2 strands of the Victoria Clayton silks. So that is what I've got going on there. And I got this tin a couple of years ago, just so you want to know how I'm keeping the Victoria Clayton silks. So right now they're in this tin, which has worked really well. In this bag. So that is another start. My next start is this one right here. Each day provides its own gifts. Again, for me a lot, it's the sentiment. And I think that's like the same thing with songs. Like, I just love when there's meaning behind it, and it just captured me. So this is a Bent Creek. Here's my very sad little start right there, with one of the roofs in the middle. So there's that. I have all of the called for colors to do this, and it's on a 30, whatever's called for. I think it's a 32 count, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's a 32 count because that's what's called for. This, like I said, I had it kitted. These are from years. They've just been sitting there like, please, when are you going to stitch me? When are you going to stitch me? This one I was supposed to start with Brandi, but I never did it, and kind of mad about that, because this is so good. Okay, it's Blackbird Designs, Away We Ride, and so many people have stitched this.
Late to the party, like I said, as usual, but here's my start. Pathetic. But now it's a WIP, and now I can put it on my board and I can start it, and then I can have it done and I can enjoy it because I love Halloween. Away we ride till it's dark as pitch to find the home of the Wicked Witch. It's fun. It's cool. I love it. All right, so that is now a WIP officially. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but these by Primrose, Let It Snow, the 4th of July, the stamps, they're so easy and just like comfort stitching, right? Just cute little bowl fillers. So Let It Snow. Here's my start. Is it this way? It's this way. Here's my start. Sorry for the thread. It's the word it. That's the T that I started. And I will get it. I will get that one done. That one's gonna take no time at all. The next one is going to be partners with Olga's Tart. So this is Clementine, and I have 2 cats. I converted Olga's Tart to look like my cat Blue, and this time the only thing I'm going to change is the color of the cat. And for this cat, he is a white-chested, all gray kitty cat with big white paws. So I will change Clementine to look more like my cat Huckleberry. Yeah. Okay, this is Peppermint and Pine by Brenda Gervais. And I stitched for my nephew. I stitched the Cardinal last year. And I started for him for next year. I started this owl. And there's not very much, and you probably are not going to get to see it, but it's on 40 count patina, I believe. And that's where I started right there. I did a center start so that I'd be able to figure it out and find it faster when I go back to it. And hopefully I'll get that done for him for Christmas next year. But now it's a WIP, right? This is a restart. Guys, I only have one more after this. This is a restart of Birds Pulled Outside. So I started this last year because Teresa Garden Goose, she was doing this because she had it in her pile, and she was like, I'm going to do this. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it with you. Whether she knew it or not, I just was going to do it with her. So I started it, and I actually finished this first snowman. But I couldn't see any of my white. I chose such a light background color that you couldn't see very much of the snowman, and that kind of defeats the purpose, right? So I happened to be at the Crafty Grimalkin, and then I did not purchase this, and then I had buyer's remorse for not buyer's remorse, but what is it when you don't buy it and then you want to buy it? Regrets, buyer regrets. I didn't get to buy it. And I called her up and I was like, do you still have this fabric? And she was like, yes. So this is 36 count Azul. And that's the fabric I'm choosing. Just look at this fabric, guys. But this is Atomic Ranch. Like I said, it's 36 count, but here's the base of the neck of the snowman. And you can see, like, it's gonna pop. The snowman is gonna pop on this blue. And I just think it's like very wintry. It's wintry skies, right? At least that's what I think. So I'm very excited to get to this, and winter is coming. I mean, we're in winter, but my snow is all gone because the stupid rain has come. But hopefully more snow will come. I just want more snow. I want to be snowed in so I can stitch. All right, my last start was the stitch pattern from my advent box that I gave to the girls, and this is what it looks like. Many have seen it. It is a nice, easy, simple, where's the front cover photo? Right here. It is Sewing Progress. Or sorry, Sewing Therapy by Crafty Blue Bonnet. And it says Sewing and Needle Therapy in Progress. I am stitching mine on a 28 count Jobelin even weave fabric. But I'm doing mine 1/1 on 28 count. So let me just show you how teeny tiny this little sucker is. And I am loving it. So let me get out of there. There you go. So that's how far I got. I started this on Sunday. Today is, started it Saturday night because we Zoomed Saturday night. And today is Monday. So it's almost done. So this is the one I was thinking I might be able to get done before before New Year. But we will see. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. It'll be a finish for next year. So those are my WIPs, guys. Can you believe it? I do have a little bit of haul. I want to share with you. My friend Sarah, she gifted me, this was my Christmas present, and she gifted it to me in this bag. So this was a bag made by Sarah, and this was the pattern because she knows I'm a drum addict, and it's called My Garden House by Plum Street Samplers, and it's just beautiful, and she included all the floss. So when I finish one project, I can start another one. I picked this up at the Cracker Barrel. My stepmom works at the Cracker Barrel, and we stopped to see her just the day after Christmas. And this is a magnet. So I put another magnet on the back, so it'll be a needle minder. Let me see if you can. And it's just full of bling, and I just thought it was really pretty. And I have a couple Peacock projects. I also picked one up for my sister-in-law because I thought that would be fun for her as part of her like little goodies for Christmas or her birthday. When I was at the shop, my friend Mary came in. Mary is an amazing quilter, but she is also a follower of this channel, and she had gifted these to the girls, and she gifted one to me as well. And she got this teeny tiny cute little cup from the Hoblob, and then she put in some puff and fabric, and now it's an adorable little pin cushion, and I love it so much. So thank you so much, Mary. I got this fabric from the Crafty Grimalkin because I had to, I needed to order white fabric for Erin Elizabeth's Christmas, the one with the window, Christmas morning. And unfortunately, mine didn't come in time, so I didn't start it on Christmas morning. But that's okay, I will get to it just after I get through all of these. That's my thing. I'm not going to be able to start a new project until I finish one, So here is what I picked up along with that white fabric. This is Murky by, who is Murky? Oh, Picture This Plus. So Murky by Picture This Plus. So I was thinking, tell me if you think I should. If you think I should change out my fabric choice, because I only got a little bit. Should I do this for my Blackbird Midnight Away We Ride? Or should I do this one? This is I don't remember which one this is. I'll have to look. Which one should I do? This, or should I do Murky? I'm kind of thinking Murky, but I would love to hear what you guys think. And I did not write down the name of the fabric that I started it on. Sorry, I'm not in camera. I'm over here. Okay, sorry. I didn't write down the name of the fabric that I was using, so I can't tell you what we'd be trading it out for. But then my friend Pam from Stitch New England, she did a little posting and said, hey guys, we got some needle and flaxen. And I was like, what? So I picked up this 36 count Eastwick by Needle and Flax, which is just a beautiful, beautiful modeling. And then I also picked up Thornfield. I've only ever heard of Thornfield. I've never touched or seen Thornfield, but it is. This is a beautiful one, guys. It's really pretty. It's actually showing up pretty well on camera. The other one I haven't actually is Hawthorn by Needle and Flax. That's another one that I would like to get that I just haven't gotten yet. So someday. Oh, this is funny. So my younger daughter Lily, she got in her stocking a black velvet ribbon, and it had this pin of a little Santa, and she didn't like it, obviously, because she's way older, and it's just like a little, like, it's just a pin, right? So she looks at me and she's like, hey mom, you should keep this and make it into a needle minder. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. So my husband said he would pop this pin part off the back, and then I can just E6000 some magnets. Okay, and one more thing, guys. I'm sorry I keep going so close to you. Some of you are going to complain about that, and I'm really sorry. Please don't be mad. I'm in a different space, so I forget how close the camera is. I have been talking about this for months, and it's finally arrived. I ordered from Paisley and Polka Dots. She was waiting to get a shipment in, and she got one in, and I got one. This is the perpetual calendar, right? These has all the days, months. So my plans for this year. My plans is to stitch all of the stuff in these chairs. That's my plan. I am going to have some new starts. My new starts are going to go seasonally, starting with this winter. I will start, I'm going to do the Courier series by Robin Pickens, just like Sarah's stitchery. She did hers and mounted them in here on magnets so she can pull them in and out, and she keeps them up seasonally. And that was like sold. I already owned them. I just haven't started them. So now I'm going to start them. So I'll start them each seasonally. So I will start the Cardinals winter, and then the Robin spring, Bluebird summer, and I forget what is the fall crow, possibly. So look for those to be coming along with all these, and then as I finish, that my reward will be I get to start something new, right? And I have plenty to start. The other thing I'm like my other plan, I am going to make this bag. This is a Poppins bag. I have all my fabric. It's all quilted, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. And tonight, it's Monday. Some of you that won, you will get to Zoom with me, and we will have a nice chat. So I think that's it. I will see you guys in 2 weeks for my 1-year anniversary giveaway. Yeah, so I hope that you have a happy new year. Be safe, have fun with your family, stitch with your friends, and I will see you in 2 weeks, which is next year. Bye, guys. Happy New Year.